Hello everyone, George DeSantis here with the look at the market. I haven't done one of these in a while. However, given the nature of the market, I thought I should do this and tell you what I'm thinking for what it's worth. For what it's worth. Um, so let's take a look at some charts. Be assured that I'm not trying to give any particular person investment advice because I couldn't possibly know what your situation is. And of course, I'm not an investment advisor. I'm just an individual investor who does this for his own purposes and share it as a YouTube video, and anyone can look at it and make of it what they will. So let's start as usual with a weekly chart of the S&P 500. And there are a number of important developments here. On the weekend, I discussed the fact that we were seemingly trading within this channel bounded by these red lines, these red uptrending lines here. However, you can see that for this week, and it's Friday now at around, oh, I don't know, about 11 o'clock, 10:30 or so. It's 10:05. Market just opened a half hour ago, and the Dow is down another 90 or 100 points, and the Nasdaq about 200 points, and the S&P 40 points. So things are not looking good here at all. And as my late brother would say, in Black Rock. Um, so let's take a look and see what we really have on the weekly chart. We had this channel here that I was hoping we would get find some support here and rally back up, continuing to make higher highs and higher lows, uh, which would indicate that we are still in an uptrend on the weekly chart. However, this week, and we're into Friday, so it's almost done. Um, this week, look at this bar. I mean, we broke below the channel. We broke below the lower line of the channel. So that's not good. That's bearish, okay? And what I did just a moment ago was I plotted what seems to me to be a new channel with prices going down. In other words, we connect these two tops here to this top here, this high, this high, this high, and then we drew almost a parallel line here. It's not quite. Every time I try to make it parallel, it goes back up. It goes in. So anyway, there's this channel now that we seem to be in on the weekly chart. Okay. Now notice that for the first time since back here, okay, since back here, which was, excuse me, which was the beginning of this uptrend. Excuse me, let me get some water. Okay, excuse me, but I was coughing, so I had to get myself a bottle of water. So as I was saying, uh, we seem to have a channel now of prices going down. This will become more apparent on the daily chart, okay? But this is what I'm beginning to notice here. And for the first time, I was saying for the first time since the 4 EMA, the yellow line crossed above that 9 EMA, the red line, in October, okay, beginning this bit of an uptrend. We see now the 4 crossing below the 9 right here this week. So this is one of my sell signals. We got it on the daily chart some time ago, but now we're getting this signal on the weekly chart. Okay. Now, the parabolic, notice that 2 weeks ago, the parabolic switched from being below this bar to being above this bar, this bar, right? And so that was signaling a downtrend, a continuation of a downtrend. Okay. And now, of course, this week again, the parabolic remains above this bar. So that's one of the things that I want to point out here. Uh, we are crossing below the 9 here. Parabolic is now signaling a downtrend that we should switch from indicating an uptrend here to a downtrend. And let me go further. I did the Fibonacci retracements. These magenta lines. I traced the retracement from this low here in October to this high here, and we are sitting now just below the 618% retracement level. As I speak, we are just below that. So as far as Fibonacci goes, we're at one of the key Fibonacci retracement levels, 618. And of course, the question is always, well, where do we go from here? Do we go much lower? Nobody knows. No one really knows, okay? All we could do is look at the technicals and see what they seem to be indicating to us. So this is a very bearish bar, and because we got a break below the channel, this thick red channel here, these two red lines, I'm more concerned now than I was at the end of last week when we were here within the channel. So it's another red. It's not just a caution flag now. I'm calling it a red flag. Okay. So that's the Fibonacci retracement. What else do we have on this level of the chart? On this level of the chart up here, we are not quite yet at the 2 standard deviation line. That would be way down at 43. That's another 100 points from here on the S&P. That would be 43.33 or so. Okay. Now let's go down to the other indicators, the momentum indicators, MACD, where we take our sell signals. Okay. Now we had a bearish bearish divergence of MACD here. Classic bearish divergence because we broke the back of the bulls here, and then we pull back. Okay, market rallied a bit, and we got another sell signal here, which I pointed out some time ago. We got another, and this is the MACD from which we take our sell signals, according to the person who designed it, Dr. Jerry Appel. 1939.9, we take our sell signals from that, and we take buy signals from this one, 1226.9. So we can see that on the momentum indicator, the MACD histogram that we take the sell signals from, you could see that, of course, this week we are getting a really bullish, a bearish rather, bearish histogram bar here. That's not good. If you go down to the other indicator, the other MACD is likewise, showing us bearishness here. But take a look at this, the triple momentum indicator that Jerry Appel also designed, and that is, since it crossed over 4% back here, crossed over it back here, which was June of somewhere around June 26th of 2020. All right, 2020. It's remained above the 4% line. Even here, it didn't cross, right? It bumped up from it again, bumped up again, but now it's crossing. We're getting a really a break in the momentum on the triple momentum indicator as well as on MACD. Folks, this is not a good picture at all, to say the least. So we now turn to the daily chart. We have examined the weekly. Let's look at the daily chart. So on the daily chart, what we have is the similar. You could see that decline here, and I tried to draw the new channel down. You can see these almost parallel lines down here, and so we are within this channel now. In fact, we're pretty much at the bottom of the channel. Incidentally, as we look at this chart, you can see that this white line, this heavy white line here, that's the 200-day moving average. I've heard many people on television say that, we probably find support at the 200-day moving average. Well, there's no guarantee that that will occur. So I'm going to let the market prove to me that it's switched from a downtrend to an uptrend before I start buying a whole lot more stocks. I got stopped out of just about almost everything. Okay, so I'm almost in cash. I have a few stocks, a few ETFs, but I'm almost in cash. If you want to know where I stand, I'm not trying to catch this falling knife. Um, Let me pause. So what I'm thinking is that we have this downward trending channel here now, and until and unless we break above it, somewhere here would be a break above this white line, right? Unless we get back here above 45.30 or so, somewhere around here, I'm gonna stay put. I'm gonna be watching the market and not doing very much of anything. Okay. Uh, Now there are lots of people arguing, as I said, that this market is likely to find support at the 200-day moving average. Well, we can only hope, but hope is not a strategy, see? Maybe we find support at this 200-day moving average again. But boy, this thing doesn't look good at all. I didn't mention this yet, but take a look at the parabolic. The parabolic on the daily chart is way above the most recent bar. And in order to switch to an uptrend, parabolic has to come below, and it doesn't have to come down here, but it has to be situated below, as it was here, briefly, below the most recent bars. Okay, um, so that's what I'm looking at. Let's go down to take a look at some of the other indicators, the momentum indicators on the daily chart. MACD histogram 1939.9, where we take sell signals. You could see we had a sell signal here. It was at 0.07, right? Below zero, in other words, right? We had a sell signal here. And if you notice up here is just where the 4 crossed below the 9. When we got this sell signal was right here, right? Where the 4 crossed below the 9. You see the 4 EMA here? Crossing below the 9, right? And notice the sell signal below here. Look at it right here, okay? Right there, there. So if you follow these sell signals, and of course, I did some selling and I got stopped out of some stocks, but they work pretty damn well. Now, if you look at the triple momentum indicator, we also crossed below right here. The triple momentum indicator crossed below the 4% line right here. Right in that same area where the 4 crossed below the 9. So we were getting some confirmation from 2 or 3 different indicators that I have on the chart. I'm sure there are others as well, but we were getting some confirmation there. So, it doesn't look like a good picture at all right now. However, the selling might be over. I'm not willing to bet on it right now. I want the market to prove, as I said earlier, that is so by crossing above, by seeing some change in the trend lines, by the parabolic coming below the most recent bar, by price being above the channel here, somewhere around 45.30 or so, approximately. And we want to see MACD histogram, the buy ones, the one we use for the buy signal, 1226.9. We want to see this histogram at least trending up, and hopefully we'll get a cross above the zero line to give us a buy signal here. So we want to see MACD above zero, or at least trending up. We want to, I want to see anyway, this momentum indicator trending up, even if it doesn't cross above the 4% line, but at least give us an uptrend and break this downtrend. See if I drew a line here, if I drew a line from here, right? We need to see a break above this trend line with the momentum indicator, triple momentum, all right? And we need to see these other things I pointed out, parabolic below here, below the most recent bar, break above the channel here, etc. So that's the way I'm seeing it, okay? And I hope this doesn't confuse the hell out of you, but It's possible we find support at this 200-day moving average, but I ain't willing to bet on it right now. I'm willing to sit on the sideline and wait for solid buy signals again. Okay, because we're definitely in a downtrend here. Have a great day and protect your capital. Don't get too hurt, okay? There's always another day. Bye now. Have a good weekend. We'll have a meeting on the weekend.